trying to get grounded a little bit. Yeah, this post has me a little freaked, but I'm being asked to do it. So I don't know if you can feel my energy, but there's a fear going on and replaying that I don't understand, but it's very emotional for me right now. So deep down, there's like this fight or flight feeling right now in my body, and I'm not breathing very deeply. I'm kind of on the verge of tears, but I'm being asked to show this in a vulnerable way. So there's a feeling inside of me that's been around for a very long time that what I want doesn't matter, or that it's not possible, and that somehow I maybe came here to fail again, or to like, I don't know what you want to call it, follow my face or whatever, but this fear of maybe it's not being good enough as well. But it's inside me. It's right deep down inside my core. I can feel it all the way down into my root, my sacral chakra. But it's like compressing me and squeezing me, and I'm seeing it come out in various ways throughout the world where good example, okay, I have an apartment and the people upstairs are extremely noisy, like walking on the bottoms of their heels all the time. And there's a strange part of me inside that is trying to be nice to them and be quiet and not so loud. And then there's this part of me that's just like fighting back, and it's angry, and it's frustrated, and it's pissed off, and like, how can people not respect me? And then I'm all tangled up with this other stuff around, okay, well, this is something inside of my mind and it's coming out through them, and it's something that I have to heal. But why am I not good enough to get what I want? Why has this been taught to me? Where was this inserted in my past? So I start asking those questions. I'm doing some of it out loud. It would normally happen in my head, but where did it start, right? And it started for a lot of us at stages when we were a little kid. We wanted a bike, or we wanted something so bad, and we didn't have a way of earning money at that time. So our parents kind of projected some of their trauma around money or whatever on us. And I can see some of that. It's like we moved a lot when we were kids, and money was tight, and they're trying to save up for houses and all these kind of things. And then we get those like, money doesn't grow on trees, or what I wanted just never seemed to be in alignment, because my parents' wants or my brothers and sisters' wants or money always trumped. So there's this like deep tangle inside of me, like everything's connected to money and everything's connected to pleasing other people. And yeah, I worked in IT, and I helped people with their problems, and it didn't really matter what I wanted. It was just about the customer is always right, or you have to please them to be able to get paid, or like prostituting yourself. Sometimes you didn't agree with what they said, but you wanted to make sure that they paid the bill. So there's stuff like that underneath. There's situations of my marriage, I guess, trying to please my partner and somehow get my needs met by helping them feel better about themselves, or going the extra mile, doing dishes or laundry or whatever, and trying to earn. Sexuality was the issue in my family and in my marriage. So looking at all those things, and it almost always didn't work out the way that I wanted. So we get into this stage of like expecting the worst, which doesn't serve us. It just beats us down our whole life. And we have all these authority figures and bosses and parents and all these people that say we can't have what we want. And then after a while, we start to trust them and we believe that maybe they know better or maybe they know something we don't. And eventually you just lose that right, or you've had so much evidence of it that right of getting what you want and being pleased and being happy for you, not for somebody else, and you get it after the fact or whatever, which never works out. But it just inserts this, like, everybody else comes first. And I guess I'm sitting with that now, and it's like, when do I get met? When do my needs get met? And it's coming down hard on me today that looking at all these things, it's like, fuck, I need to make a choice to open myself to possibility and open myself to magical coincidences and things that are going to help me get through this, and then see myself as most important in my world first, and not trying to please others and then hope my needs get met or my desires happen after the fact. So I can now see that and see how that pleasing and that trying to get my needs met third hand, or have my dreams come through once I made my mom happy or made my dad happy or made my ex-wife happy or whatever. I'm now starting to see that we self-deprecate ourselves, and it just makes us low and small and tiny. And there's a part of me that's been enraged by that for a long, long time. And this is where the vulnerability comes in. It's funny, I'm watching people as I'm sharing the vulnerability, they're just popping off like flies. But this is really important, because I think this is going to apply to a lot of people, that who's going to choose me ever other than me? So we have to move past all this judgment of selfish. And I'm not talking selfish where you hurt other people and other things. I'm talking about who chooses us first, and when do my needs come first? And then when my needs come first and I'm direct about that and ask and be clear, then there's no surprises afterwards. It's like, okay, this is par for the course, or table stakes is I have to feel like I have some choice in my life. I have some choice in who I let into my life, what rules or boundaries that they want to set on me, or whatever should be discussed and open in the beginning. I don't leave things wide open to figure themselves out. I guess that's a wound as well, as in not having my needs be met. I had to protect myself. So having a shift in my universal perspective to say that my needs deserve to be met all the time. My needs come first in my world from this day forward. And I don't wait for other people to meet my needs. The universe meets my needs right from the beginning. And what I want matters, and what other people wants still fits in, but it's got to serve me, and it's not got to be at my expense anymore. It's like a gentle opening. It's like an observance of my little boy inside my inner child, who's had to live in this box for his whole life of trying to please everybody before he could feel met or loved or happy. And now I put him first. And my adult can see that, and he can now interpret other people's intentions to ensure that he lines up with people that have the same intention. I want other people's needs to be met at the same time as I want mine to be met, but I have to put mine first before I expect mine to be met, because otherwise it creates this big mess. And this is where messes come in relationships and sexuality and intimacy in relationship. It gets hard because we have these wounds, we have these confusions from the past that tangle us up, and take away our choice, or we think we do. Anyways, we just didn't know we had a choice, so it's taken away in this roundabout way. And maybe this is happening for you too, and you just sit with that child. I'm holding him and breathing with him. He's got so much grief and so much sorrow, and he'd hoped and dreamed and planned and desired and had dreams, and they all died over time because he let be stolen his self-respect, his self-rights. And it happened at such a deep level. It wasn't even like in a processing stage or word stage. It was more like, until I do my work, or until I solve all this, or until I become better or more worthy, then I can have that choice back. So instead, I'm changing that right now, and I'm taking that choice back. That's my basic human right, is to have my manifestation appear instantly and appear for me, not distorted, not appearing for somebody else first. I unwind, I untwist, I unentangle all those confusions, those misconceptions. I choose them to be reset to their primary level and their birthright level. And I give that assurance to my inner child that it's okay. And it's kind of sad. He's going to have to go and cry for a little while, because it feels like my whole life was that, serving in this distorted way that was all confused. But he's smiling, at least that somebody's heard him finally, and that I've made the choice to unwind all that, and I send it up to God and the angels to transmute whatever's left and clear all the beliefs that are assigned to it, and allow myself to be worthy and not to have to please before my needs are met, my inner desires, my dreams. I don't have to tangle up with anybody else. They're mine and mine alone, and my creation is allowed to come to me, and I'm worthy of receiving that creation, and worthy of receiving all the gifts and the power and the light that come from the being that I am, the purity that I've made inside myself. I allow all that stuff to be returned. And anything I missed, I give to God and my angels and my team for my highest good to clear and dissolve all that stuff. And just untangling all this stuff that was buried in our shadow and my shadow builds the trust in my inner child. And I can see him. He's got a dirty face and lots of tears running down or whatever, but he's smiling, and he's finally glad that he matters. And where is that happening for you? You might have an inner child that doesn't feel okay to dream anymore, or play, or have fun. There's a lot of work in life, and I give him permission to relax and to receive and play and be beautiful and be himself. I feel better. My next step would be to go and sit with the emotion and lay in my bed and have some tears for all that grief and frustration, and just let that go for like 90 seconds, like really strongly, and just breathe it out and get to the point. Sometimes I choke or cough, and it feels like black stuff's coming out, but it's all the old stuff that no longer serves that has to be released. And once it's released, then I get really quiet and everything calms down, and I fill that space with just love and gooey, marshmallowy love, so that nothing else gets taken in that space while I heal. It's kind of like a bandage. And usually after 5 or 10 minutes, or sometimes it just knocks me right out, but I lay for that 5 or 10 minutes, and then that void comes. I usually wipe my tears off, and I step up and I go back into my day, and I feel much better. And usually the next couple of days, some integrations happen and some new realizations come, and then usually some manifestations start showing up, showing that I made some really important choices and that those are now a possibility. Now my subconscious shifts, and beautiful things start coming in. So it's a big thing that I just shared. It may apply to you. I think this is happening for a lot of people, where we're having to let go of all those things. But anything's confusing or I missed a step or something you feel because I was very deeply in the emotion of what was going on, just put it in the notes and I'd be happy to explain anything. But I got some processing to do here for a little bit, and I love you all. I hope this helps, and that was deep. So talk to you soon. Have a good day.